it's Lynn here. Hope everyone is having an amazing day. Now today guys, I am very excited because I have seeds from my Tillandsia, my Cosa air plant, and I'm going to be sowing the seeds today. I'm going to show you where the seeds have come from, what type of air plant. And before we go any further, I want to give a very special thank you to my wonderful fiance Hans, who is behind the camera filming me today. So if you're not familiar with Hans's channel, do go over and subscribe. The links will be up above. So thank you, Hansi. So I have my hands free to show you a little bit more what I'm doing. Now, this is the Tillandsia that I got the seeds off here. This beauty that we have growing, that we have placed, I should say, on top of one of our euphorbias. Very handy there. And I discovered the seed by accident actually. I mean, this was flowering in the summer last year, 2019. And I actually went to prune it back. And when I did, I noticed there was a lovely big, sort of almost like resembling like a wheat on the top of it. And I noticed there was a crack in the side. And as I turned it around, all these amazing little seeds came out. So I thought, yeah, now I've got seeds and I'm going to be able to sow them. And I just show this one of our other Tillandsias here, also with seed pods on it there, look. And soon that's going to be ready for the harvesting. And when I do, I'll make a how to harvest seeds from air plants video. And now it's time to get sowing them. Now this isn't strictly a how-to video because I've never sown Tillandsia from seed before. I've sown many other types of plants, especially cacti and succulents, as you know. Always had great success, but not air plants, so this is a new experience for me. And after checking a bit of information on how to do it, there's loads and loads of different advice there online and from other growers who say, you know, you can sow the seeds directly in peat moss, some say sphagnum moss, some say soil, some say put them on tissue paper, some say soak them in water till they germinate, some say hang them up and spray them every day on a moss pole till they... All these different methods, but I'm going to do it this way, and I've decided to go for, which a few people also recommend and had good success with, is by using cotton wool. And in this case I'm using little round cotton wool there. And the reason why I'm doing that is because it's going to hold moisture, which is really important when you're germinating, and especially when they're starting to grow as well. Tillandsias, as you know, grow normally in air. As long as you give them moisture and nutrients, they will thrive. But when it comes to actually germinating, when they're in the seedling stage, they need extremely high humidity. So in this case, I'm going to be sowing them in here. And I've got a little lid there, once they're sowed, to put on. I'm keeping the lid on at all times. And then once they have germinated, probably just lift the lid a little bit like that to let a little bit of air in, but still keep the humidity very high. Now, Tillandsia seeds can take anything from 3 weeks to 2 months to actually germinate. So it can take a long time. And I have no idea, as I say, I've never sown Tillandsia from seed before, whether this is even going to be a success. So this isn't, strictly a how-to video. It's just how I'm going to be doing it. And I'll do an update when they germinate, hopefully when they germinate. And even if they don't, I'll still make an update just to let you guys know what's happening, or anything worse, anything happens to them in the meantime. And this is what the seeds look like. I harvested them this morning, so they're very fresh. And some say that Tillandsia seeds don't keep very long. So, and that the quicker you sow them, the better. So in this case, fresh from today, and I'm going to be sowing them today. They'd almost look very much, remind me of a dandelion with a lovely little woolliness on them. They're very special. And just show you them myself a bit more with my hand. There's about tiny little black, little dark brown, black little bits at the end of all of these little fluffy deposits here of seeds. And I counted them all, there's about 17. So hopefully we'll get some that germinate here. Very exciting. And when you actually sow the seeds on, you actually leave them on the woolliness. You don't try and separate them. So I've got rainwater here, very clean rainwater. The most important thing is that you use clean water because you don't want to infect anything. Also that the container that you're using is completely sterilised. I sterilised this in very hot water this morning, and I also cleaned it thoroughly with rubbing alcohol. So this is clean, and also clean cotton wool here. Some people recommend actually propagating the seeds on tissue paper and things like that. tissue paper I always find a bit of a disaster because it sort of goes into bits and comes apart. So this is good with the cotton wool. But you know, if you want to try the sphagnum moss method or the pure peat moss method, it's really up to you. This is only the method I'm going to be doing. And because of the white cotton wool, it's going to see much easier to see when they do germinate too. So here we go. And also make sure that your hands are spotlessly clean. I've given them a very, very good clean here. And what you want to do then is, I'm just going to put this all on here, get them all out. You want to sprinkle them onto the surface. And as I say, I would not be doing this outdoors because they're so fine, they would just blow away, which is how these seeds, how these plants naturally propagate naturally. They would just literally just blow away in the wind, which is why they have these little white little fluffy tails on that blow away like dandelions would, and they'd rest somewhere, usually on trees and things like that in their natural habitat, and take root. But they recommend to actually keep this on, this white wooliness. It'd be too difficult to separate them. So what I want to do here is just literally place them apart. So you can see, easy to see now, the little brown, little bits at the end. This is part of the actual flower head, so we don't necessarily need that, obviously, not that it's coming away. And spread them out, so when they do germinate, they're not going to grow all over each other. And they can stay in this container because they're extremely slow growing. So I won't be obviously treating these as normal Tillandsia air plants until they're much, much larger, which could even be up to a year. Some say even 2 years in the container. It really depends on the speed of the growth. They're slow growing, but I do know some other growers say that they can be fast growing. It depends on what type of Tillandsia you are growing, obviously. So make sure there's all the seeds are in there. And there's one there. So they're very, very light. So obviously you do not want to be doing this outside where it's going to blow away. So make sure you're in a calm environment with no draft or anything like that. And they're placed on there, separated completely, as you can see. Now what we're doing now is thoroughly soaking. You don't want them swimming in water, but enough to soak all of the cotton wool or the sphagnum moss, whichever method you prefer to use. And here, be careful not to go too fast, so not to blow. You want to thoroughly soak these, and it's really important that the humidity is kept, they're completely soaked, and the humidity is always kept 100% by the lid. That should be enough, I think. Just enough to see a little bit of water at the bottom. There we go. And then the lid is going to be going on the top there. And when you're actually propagating these, obviously it depends on the time of year you're doing it. There's not really any wrong or right time of year to sow Tillandsia air plant seeds. Obviously the spring and summer, the days are longer, you got the warmer temperatures, so they're going to germinate quicker. But we're going to be putting this upstairs in our grow room, but away from the strong grow lights, because to germinate them, they need light, obviously bright light, and warm temperatures, but they don't want direct sunshine, and they don't want very hot temperatures, because that can just also stop them from germinating. Worst case, they can actually rot. So ideal temperatures around 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 20 degrees Celsius. So anything between 70 to 75, 80 degrees Fahrenheit at the most, about 20 to 25 degrees Celsius is ideal. So my grow room, which is also my office upstairs, is going to be ideal. I'm going to have it up there, so it'll be nice and warm for them to germinate. A little bit away from the grow light, so they get plenty of bright light, but not intense full light from the grow lights there. And hopefully we'll have a bit of success in a few weeks' time. And when they do germinate, fingers crossed, I'll do an update video. And if you want to see a bit more Tillandsia videos, I'm going to be making a how to care for Tillandsia video in the coming future. Stay tuned for that. I've also got some of the Tillandsias in flower that me and Hans have got here. So I'll link them videos on at the end of this video as well, at the cards at the end. So do watch them. And also how to fertilise Tillandsias and how to prune Tillandsias as well. How to prune the dead leaves that often happen at the bottom of Tillandsias as they grow. Hopefully it will help you. And guys, I'm very excited about this, and thank you all so much for your support. And thank you, Hansi, for filming. So guys, I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of plant power from across the Emerald Isle. And until my next video, bye.